Sometimes I take really, really bad photos. This is a garbage shot of an eagle that's out of focus. The composition's just not good. The aperture's wrong, shutter speed's wrong, I was using the wrong camera, the wrong focal range, just everything. It's like I'd never taken a photo before, and that happens. However, instead of just garbaging this shot, this is what I turned it into. I definitely polished a turd here. You see, with photography, you want to get as close as you can in camera. So when you snap the picture, it's good coming out of the camera already. Any type of edits, minimal, should make that just even better. I don't personally feel you should ever be trying to rescue an image because it was so bad to begin with. But that's what we're doing today. Checking out what's in focus, what's not in focus. And by the looks of it, nothing's in focus. If we zoom in a little bit more, looking at these feathers, looking at the claws or the talons, but it's close, it's almost there. So let's drag this into Luminar Neo, go over to edit, and under the extensions here, we will click on Super Sharp AI. I'm gonna go middle, and it effectively takes an out of focus shot and makes it in focus. Now it can't be massively, massively out of focus from the testing that I've done, but something that's just about there, that's almost in focus, like this shot, and bam. All right, that's looking a lot better. Now everything in this photo will be sharper, and if we hide that and unhide it, you can see what a difference it made from soft to a little more crispy. This is usable now. I'm gonna do no more edits in Luminar. I'm gonna go ahead and export this photo, and then I'll bring that back into Lightroom and start some color adjustments. Now there's two schools of thought with this. There's purists. We're gonna shoot film. Nothing wrong with film. I still shoot film. You want everything dialed ahead of time. You send your film off to get scanned. It comes back, you're done. You post it, looks amazing. And everyone tries to make presets to make it look like that. Then there's the far end. AI is now making photos and everything in between. Full photo manipulation, putting mountains in the backgrounds of deserts, taking people in and out of photos, adding planets, creating an environment that never otherwise existed. I've also got no problem with that. Different people will argue that's not photography, but photography is subjective. Art's subjective. What I like, you might hate. Some people might like my work, some people think my work is garbage, and that's okay, because it's all subjective. If I'm happy with it, that's all that ultimately matters. To take some of that overall sharpness away, I'm gonna adjust this tone curve. I'm gonna lift the blacks so it feels a little more matte. I'm gonna strip out the blue, and I definitely wanna tone down the amount of green and yellow in this shot because right now it's looking way too green and yellow. It's also too bright, so dropping that exposure, that makes the eagle pop quite a bit. And now we're gonna adjust the crop. It's got no structure, there's just following nothing right now. So let's just get it into a 4x5 frame and centered. That looks pretty good right there. So now I still wanna just soften things up, add a little bit of a vignette, but this is already looking way better. Kirk! He had this on his head. He Sharpied his fingers. I love the guy.
I don't like this thing.
I'm back from vacation. He's now gone on vacation. We're like two ships passing in the night. Kirk's switching to DaVinci, I'm switching to DaVinci. Everyone's switching to DaVinci, but not to worry because this video is actually sponsored by Motion Ray, and they also are, no, they have templates for DaVinci as well. So I can still make titles and do my job, especially when Kirk's gone. When your motion graphics guy is gone, what do? You use Motion Ray. So if you are someone who's learning how to edit, and then beyond that you want to learn how to do titles and get assets that make your videos better, Motion Ray have you covered on that front. They also make them for Premiere Pro, After Effects, Final Cut Pro, basically whatever software you're using, you can get templates for it. If you're new to the scene or you already know, Motion Array is tens of thousands of digital assets for content creators, spanning from stock footage to stock audio to templates, transitions, motion graphics, so you can easily add things like titles to what we just made. But it's important to say Motion Array is more than just titles. It's a membership-based service. You can pay for it monthly, you can pay for it annually. They have different packages and plans to suit best what you do and what works for your business. And this isn't one of those things where, you know, we're just throwing a quick sponsor in. We actually use it all the time. We could just be custom making everything that we do, but we don't, because this is faster and more efficient. They're just assets that help you make better videos. Hit the link in the description below and save $50 off your annual subscription. 50 bones. Now the problem is almost that it's too sharp. So now we gotta add some depth of field, some bokeh to the background. Gonna go ahead and save that and open it in Photoshop. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is duplicate the layer, and then I'm gonna add a field blur to the layer. Now you can see if I turn off and on the field blur, you can see how much depth of field we're actually adding. Now you've got two layers. One has field blur on it, one doesn't. I'm gonna do this a little bit of an old school way. I'm just gonna throw a layer mask on here and then just paint the bird out so the eagle is the only thing in focus, leaving that field blur in the background. Now you'll notice as I'm painting this out here, it's leaving a little bit of a halo. So if I just maximize my brush a little bit more, make it a little bit bigger, I'm gonna paint right over that halo and you'll see the sharp water behind it, but it kind of looks like grain. Now that's not gonna be an issue because I'm gonna hide that by adding more grain to the photo after. And I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let's just paint out this entire eagle. All right, now that it's painted out entirely, we'll add a little bit of a vignette. And now I will add some grain. And you can see a before and after. You see that halo, but after I add the grain, that halo is gone. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is add some fog to this photo, create a bit of atmosphere. I'm gonna use a transparent file here from Lens Distortions. I'm gonna drop that in on top, and then we're gonna layer mask that again and just slightly paint out where the eagle is. I'm gonna use a brush with a soft edge, but I'm gonna drop the opacity of that brush to 50% so that it's not fully deleting all of the fog when I paint over it. And that about does it. And remembering it came from this. Now, like I said, this shot was hip fired with a rangefinder, a Q2 with a 28mm lens at like f2 when an eagle was in a split second grabbing a piece of fish off the boat. Kirk! This is actually Captain Kirk, and Kirk has Captain Kirk on his desk. Boop. It was a great video. I'm down for more Kirk. I watched that in my hotel room, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I miss him. Okay, I can do this.